Have you ever gotten back with an ex of yours years down the line? My fiancé at the time did, he just didn't tell me. Yep, 35-year layoff. Best thing I ever did was giving it another go. I have an on-off again relationship, sometimes years in between. I can assure that every time we get back together, it's like we are kids losing our virginity to each other. One getting together after 14 months apart, we decided to have some wine together and talk. We chatted for 4 hours 7-11 p.m. before we decided we could not make love. Once again, like old times, we consummated and slept in the next morning. Laying there whispering to ourselves, we decided that we were loving soulmates and it was time to acknowledge that. We conceived our daughter that night, born 279 days after, and we got married within the year. I did twice. One I was with for 7 years. Just got angry at each other in the end. Now married to one who I didn't speak to for 10 years. Reason for the initial split? I moved across the country. Yes, big mistake, was reminded of what a nutcase she was intended. Yes, after 5.5 years of being apart. Got married a little over a year later, and we've been happily married for going on 18 years this year. Yes, and it failed same as the first time. Seems neither of us had matured as much as we both thought we did. Yes, she was my college sweetheart from 1991-1993. We got back together 23 years later. Dumb move because the relationship trajectory was pretty much the same, including her pushing me away at the end to date others. I guess the only positive thing was I got her off my mind after thinking about her for so long. Yeah, 4 years later. Horrible mistake. If it counts. I had a FWB for the last 2 years in college. We had been friends for 2 years before that. At the 10-year homecoming, she mentioned the motel she was staying at and I booked a room at the same one. And we hooked up one night for one last thing. It was very good. Yup, had a great time for a short period. Then that hell on earth was even worse. Yep, we split due to my new career that required a move out of state. 5 years later we got back together. Read about someone who got back with their ex after 8 years? I find it fascinating. How do you feel when that happens, especially if it's been so long? 17 years later. It was a disaster. Yes, sitting in our living room right now. First met in '94, dated for a while. Back together in 2010, I ended it. We remained in contact over the years. 2024, I contacted him because I had a potentially terminal diagnosis, turned out not to be. We've been together ever since. Now he's in the hospital awaiting major surgery. He drives me crazy at times and vice versa, but he has been it since the day I laid eyes on him. Nobody better. Yes, the person I lost my virginity to. We met again 20-something years later and reconnected and had sex again. It was really fun to show her I no longer cry during sex and have gotten really good at it. Yes, and then I got pregnant and now am tied to that for another 8.5 years. We were together for almost 2 years when we were 16, then got back together at age 22. It was really bad and I was able to finally leave at age 27. But I still have to deal with him on almost a daily basis since we have a child together. Yup, about 10 years between. All was great for about 5 months. Then I had to have emergency surgery on Sunday. Stayed the hospital until Wednesday. Was dumped on Friday when she decided I wasn't fun enough for her anymore. Yes, we went out in our early 20s and reconnected in our 30s. We've been together for 4 years. There's 2 couples in my friend group who dated as teenagers, broke up for like 20 years, then reconnected and are now happily married.